Thank you for your indulgence, Mr Chair. Much appreciated. Minister, Budget Paper 4, Volume 2, page 156. What is the timeline for the rollout of the Wittunga Masterplan, especially around the completion of the nature playground and the move of state flora to Wittunga from Belair National Park?
I thank the member for Waite for that question. I know he's very engaged in what happens up at Wittunga within his electorate at Blackwood, and the potential that the upgrades and the enhancements of Wittunga have to see more people engage with open space, with the natural world. And one of three of our botanic gardens that probably got overlooked for a long time, and I think I would be, as much as anyone else, would be guilty of being very aware of the fact we've got a botanic garden within the CBD, being Adelaide Botanic Garden. We've got the very well-known Mount Lofty Botanic Gardens, but we've also got that much smaller garden up at Blackwood, Wittunga Botanic Garden. And very unique in that the garden sort of is split between collections of plants from South Australia, of local provenance, but also plants from South Africa, which really does make it quite unique. And I think that goes back to the ownership of the gardens in the first place. We've been very fortunate in this budget to secure $9.22 million over the next 3 years to deliver projects at Adelaide Botanic Garden and Botanic Park, and also a further $3 million or thereabouts for the Mount Lofty precinct, much which I expect to be spent on amenity upgrades in Mount Lofty Botanic Gardens because of the very significant increase in visitation numbers up there at Mount Lofty, particularly in the autumn and spring. Very much in autumn, increasingly in spring, and I think I mentioned before that that garden has a particular Instagrammable nature, which has made it go close to viral on social media in the past. The Wittunga Botanic Garden project is really interesting because it's really come from a partnership which the state government, the Friends of the Botanic Gardens, the Botanic Gardens Board, and the federal government have been able to forge. And I know the member for Waite has been very engaged in ensuring that there is an avenue for federal investment in his community, and in particular in this site. And working with myself in my role as the Minister, and with Nicole Flint, the federal member for Boothby, what we've been able to do is come up with a whole range of projects within the Wittunga Botanic Garden to lift the amenity, to give that garden a bit of TLC, and to position it as a place that the community are really proud of and want to visit. It's really well located because there is the school just over the fence from it. The railway line runs right adjacent to the Wittunga Botanic Garden. So the visitation potential of that site, whether it's young people visiting through school programs, or with parents and caregivers after school, or visitors coming in from and using the train to very easily access that via the Belair line direct from the CBD. The garden really does lends itself to a much increased visitation and discovery, something that has not been necessarily the case in the past. The investment should also lead to increased opening hours at the site as well, and I'm really pleased that we will be able to or are facilitating increased opening hours there, because I think the garden previously shut at about 4:30, which I found quite perverse when I became the Minister. Especially on summer evenings, you couldn't actually go to the garden because the gate was locked. So this investment isn't paying for the increased opening hours, but we are enabling that as a consequence of the transformation of the site. A master plan has been put together by the Board of the Botanic Gardens for Wittunga Botanic Garden, and that master plan will be rolled out over the coming years. It's not fully funded. but we have been able to fund various aspects of that master plan. One of the things that the federal funding through the city deal has enabled us to do is deliver a nature play on the site, and that nature play should be completed in early 2021. A design's underway and being refined at the moment, but by hopefully March, April 2021, that nature play will be constructed. I think that will be, for young people, something really quite fantastic in the Wittunga Botanic Gardens. Lots of people being drawn into that, a new destination within the destination. Walking trails, lookout areas within the part of the Wittunga Botanic Gardens are also being done up as part of this and invested in. It was great to see the old pool fencing pulled down. There was this sort of swimming pool fencing around the edge, which was obviously put up there for safety reasons back in the day. Really looked very grotty and detracted from the site, so that's been taken away. There's new lookouts and walking trails around the lake on the site. We know that people love engaging with those views over water, even more so than over green open space. So giving plenty of opportunity for people to do that, and removing some of the Phragmites and the other rushes from that area has been a really important part of this upgrade as well. There's lots more to do, but it was obviously great to visit there with some representatives of the board, the Friends, and of course the member for Waite and the federal member for Boothby a few weeks ago, where we planted some trees and celebrated with a morning tea the new life for Wittunga Botanic Gardens, which we are all very excited about.